I am super excited about today's video because we are going to be taking this ridiculously cool guitar and we are going to be turning it into this. That's right, we are putting on a Bigsby B5, and not just any B5, but the F logo B5 using the Vibramate system. Now what does that mean for you? That means we're going to put this Bigsby on without permanently altering or drilling any new holes in this guitar. We're just going to be using the existing ones. Now since we're putting on the F logo B5, that's only going to go on Telecasters that are vintage style. How do you tell if your Telecaster is a vintage style tele body? Well, look at your ashtray. If you have 4 screw holes right there, that is vintage style. If you have a made in Mexico tele, this is a made in Mexico tele, you're most likely vintage style. So now let's get started. Let's talk about how you can get your Telecaster into this cool vintage style Bigsby B5. All right, so before we get started here, I've got all my tools laid out and the parts. Should have everything, but who knows, well, we might need something at some point. I've got my F logo Bigsby right here. I've got the ashtray that you get from Vibramate. We can talk about the different styles of ashtrays as we're doing the install later that they actually offer as options. And then here I've got the actual mounting bracket. You can see how thin it is for the Bigsby. Super, super thin. We'll also be adding Vibramate's spoiler, and we'll be adding Vibramate's saddles. And these are cool because you can access and adjust the height from both sides, which is real important when you install a Bigsby. So you'll want to put the Vibramate saddles on, even if you have these kind of saddles already on your Telecaster. So let's go ahead and let's remove the strings on this guitar. All right, so step 2 is going to be removing the strings, so we'll go ahead and do that real quick. So our strings are removed now. Now we're going to start working on removing the ashtray and removing the saddles. We'll get to that step next. So you need to remove your saddles. And we'll just unscrew these until it comes off. And you might want to put a cloth in here to protect your guitar. Actually, I'm going to do that. I do have a pretty non-dingy type of screwdriver here, but I really don't want to ding this guitar. Okay, and so now that we've got these removed, you can easily see what I'm talking about when I say the 4 screws. So sometimes it's kind of hard to see on some of your guitars, but there's 4 screws here. Some guitars, some of the Telecasters have 3 screw. So the 4 screw method is what works great. These are the vintage style bodies, and this is what you can put the new Vibramate ashtray on there. I should also notate real quick before we start to remove the wood screws. The ashtray on the Vibramate is a little bit bigger, but what's really, really cool, as you can see here, it allows you to still string your body through. So let's say you want to bypass your Vibramate, your Bigsby, and you just want to string through the body, you still can with this system. So we're going to remove these four screws right now. And when you remove these, you are going to want to save them because you're going to be using these when you install the ashtray for the Vibramate. And so now it's loose. Pickup is still attached. We'll go over that next. Then besides removing the 4 wood screws, we're going to need to remove the strap pins. Now I'm going to remove both strap pins because I'm actually putting in strap locks while we're doing this. You are going to want to hold on to this screw because you're going to want to use that for the installation of the Vibramate system. So now that we've got the strap buttons removed and we've got the 4 screws out, now we got to remove the pickup. While I'm removing this pickup, it's worth mentioning that there is many different ashtrays you can get from Vibramate. They have ones for humbuckers, they have one even for a TV Jones pickup, all different kinds of styles. So that's one of the things that makes this particular setup for Vibramate different than the one for like the Les Paul. Les Paul works with what, kind of Les Paul you got, it works as it is. This here will work with whatever kind of Telecaster you got. You can get pretty customized. It's pretty neat. Okay, there's the pickup. She's out. Now, we're gonna save all these because we're gonna put these in the new ashtray. So you wanna save anything here, but you do not, I repeat, you do not need to resolder or pull out any of the soldering. So we've got the pickup out, the old ashtray is removed. And we're gonna next be installing in the new ashtray. We're going to install the Vibramate ashtray. Now this particular ashtray is the scalloped version. So we're gonna install this pickup on here. And we're gonna be using the same screws and these little rubber washers that we had before. I guess right now I'm just gonna go ahead and put the screws and these little rubber guys back on the screws there. That'll help hold them. Alright, now we got that all set up. Now we're going to put the pickup in there and start screwing it in. In this case, it's a flathead screwdriver. And we'll have to adjust the height of this pickup once we get all the strings all set up, based off of kind of what we had our setting before. Magnetism. Kind of hilarious, but not really. This side's definitely too high. There we go. All right, that's a good start. All right, so that is step number 6. Step number 7 will be we need to now screw in our wood screws into here. But let's put our wood screws in there now. And so, yeah, just as a reminder, we are using the original screws that were in the body. So these are not screws supplied by Vibramate or Bigsby. You just use the ones that were already in your guitar. We're getting close. Eventually putting on the Bigsby here, guys. This is exciting. That's on there. So the new ashtray is installed. And you know, the ground wire is still underneath there, so that's providing ground. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in the saddles. Now you can put in your original saddles, but again, I would recommend using these the Vibramate saddles because these are dual access saddles, so that allows you to adjust your intonation from both sides. And you really need to adjust it from both sides because once you put your Bigsby on there, get in there with your Phillips. All right, so now we got our saddles on, we got our pickup installed, and we got the ashtray screwed right into the guitar. So let's move on to the next step. So now we get to the point where we're going to be putting on the step 9, where you're putting in the horseshoe guy here, and it is a tight little fit there, but it goes right underneath there. See how I'm doing that? How that goes right in there? Just goes right in there, and it sits right on the body. So that's what keeps it so flush. So let's go ahead. So now I've shown you that. Put that in there again. Now normally this would be the point where you'd be putting in your original strap buttons, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm putting in strap locks. This will secure the plate in there. Now these strap buttons are tight. So the next step will be to prepare the actual Bigsby unit, the F-style Bigsby, a B5. But before you do that, they want you to remove the pads here, so we're going to do that. You know, you don't want to cause any extra height than you don't need. So we're going to pop those off. Flathead is all I'm using. Take those right off. We are prepared to install, and that's what we're going to do next. We're going to remove these nuts, and these are 5/16 nuts, so you'll need a 5/16 wrench or socket, whatever you prefer to use. And then you've got these little rubber washers here. I think they're rubber. All right, so we got those in there, and those little rubber washers are going to go before your bolts or your nuts or whatever. Sorry, not your bolts, your nuts. And this one here where the spring's at gets this this different kind of, the regular nut, not the closed nut. And they stress to not over tighten. And then you just continue to put in the rest of these. All right, so now that we've got all of our nuts tightened in, pull out our spring here, and come wrapped in this little toilet papery kind of thing. Really nice and shiny. Very nice little springs. I'll put the spring in there, and then they give you a little plastic washer. You can put that right up in there, and just kind of, it just should sit right in there. Should. There we go. Sat right in there. There we go. So now that's in there, ready to go. So then what we're going to do next is we're going to get ready for stringing. But before I string it, I'm going to use the Vibramate spoiler. Now you can string your guitar the traditional method, but I'm choosing to use the spoiler because that's a cool little device that allows you to change your strings real quickly. Now, this is it right here, and you don't have to do all the bending and all that stuff. If you want to see how you do the traditional method, I have a video on that. All right, we are almost there. Now the last step here is to string the guitar. So here's what's cool about the Vibramate string spoiler. Don't have to do the whole little spinning your string around there. You can just pull right in there. So no need for y'all to watch me string up the guitar here. We're gonna just fast forward right through that, and we will cut back once we're done. So again, I'll just show you on the last one here. See, that ball just goes right in there. Don't have to do the whole bend it around method. Makes it a lot easier. So imagine you're playing a gig, string breaks on your Bigsby guitar. Now you can change it super easy without a problem. All right, strings are on. Now all we got to do is intonate this puppy. Let me show you why you want to use the saddles from Vibramate, the dual access ones, because look, you can't put your Phillips screwdriver in here to intonate your guitar. So you need the dual accessibility where you take your flat head and you've got the little point right here, and I can move that in and out. So I'm going to take the time now to intonate the guitar, and we'll come back and I'll get it all set up, and then we'll take a look at it in its final form. Will it fit in a case? So here I've got one of the newer Fender TSA cases. This is the case I actually got for this guitar. So yes, of course, it'll fit a Telecaster. And will it fit with a Bigsby? And it will. Now the mistake that a lot of people make is they leave their arm like this. This is not how you want to have your arm. You want to have it back like that. That is the best way to have it in a case. And then the case shuts fine. That is it, folks. The guitar is all set up, it's intonated, the Bigsby is installed, all due to the Vibramate system that does not permanently modify your guitar. Make sure you go to Vibramate.com, and I want to thank the folks at Vibramate for their help, their support, and their fantastic products. Thank you very much for watching. Let's check this out. We're on a neck pickup on a Class 5 Marshall. Let's hear how this puppy sounds. So nice. So tasty. Gotta love the Bigsby. Thanks for watching, guys.